Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to The Boys. This time on Season 2, Episode 4, titled Nothing Like It in the World. Last time, we had Over the Hill with the Swords of 1,000 Men, and it was a dramatic episode. It was a dramatic episode. It was a very, very heavy one, especially, the last, 20 minutes of it were especially heavy. And in the episode, we saw Stormfront's true nature revealed to us. It seems like, like the whole gender equality stuff that she preaches is literally just for the kind of, quite possibly just for like her public image at Vought, in front of Vought and everything. But in secret, she's actually a white supremacist. So, not the best thing in the world. Not the best thing in the world. She brutally killed, murdered just in like an apartment full of people, all of them black people, all of them. And just because she could, very few of them were in the way. Very few of them were actually in her way. Like the first apartment she crashed through, she killed the guy, and then the girl and the other guy were screaming, and she actually turned around and went the extra mile to kill them. And then she got through all the people in the apartment, just literally blew her way through it with her powers and everything. And then once she got to the roof, she took her time killing Kimiko's brother, and then she finally did that too. So yeah, and it's all because he was the terrorist, but also, for her, it was the extra satisfaction of killing a person of color. So yeah, I mean, the more you think about it, the more it becomes clearer that that may well be her true nature, given that, her name is Stormfront. Like, it's not exactly a peaceful sounding name. And I think looking at her as well, I think it's, it's her whole her whole demeanor now seems very, very different to when she was first introduced to us. And like, it's kind of, I think that could be like a mixture of now that her true character actually revealed, and also because the fact that they actually chose to release it to reveal that now. Like, up until now, you would have thought, oh, she's just like a up until then, you would have thought that she was just like a really kind of bold and like take no shit kind of character. But then you realize that, like, she's a take no shit character because of the fact that, she actively goes out of her way to kill innocent people simply because of how they look. So yeah, she's not exactly the she's not the bold person, the bold hero that you actually want to look up to. But yeah, I'm curious to see how they explore that, though. I'm curious to see how they actually explore having that kind of a hero in the Seven as well, and if that kind of stuff gets shoved under the rug by Vought too, then I don't know what they'll do, because I think Vought themselves are in deep shit. They're in deep trouble because Compound V was leaked to the public by Starlight. So now the whole world knows that no superheroes are born. They're all made. They're all dosed full of Compound V as babies, and then they grow up with these abilities, and some of them become members of the Seven, some of them just become your average everyday superheroes with all these different jobs and stuff. So yeah, all that stuff was revealed, and then we saw Black Noir just devastated by the news. Black Noir, dude was crying. Dude just sat crying in the hallway. He was devastated by it. A Train kind of hinted at having like a less privileged kind of background, and coming from a less privileged background. So if he loses his place in the Seven because of it, then he's going to be going back to a place where he doesn't have as much money or have as many resources to live by and stuff. So he hinted at that, and there's just like a bunch of problems that people even within the Seven have. So yeah, and it kind of got me thinking, like, how is Stormfront a white supremacist, but she's still got onto a team with A Train? Because he's black, he's a black superhero. It's like, how is she? I don't know if she somehow manages to hold it in whenever she has to be in the same room as him, or if she's just waiting to hurl some abuse at him or lash out at him in some way. But yeah, because I think this seemed like that scene in the last episode seemed more like it had that ruthless killer vibrant and all over it that we usually only see from Homelander. Like, even Homelander seemed shocked by the fact that she went out of her way to kill the guy. But then the only point he actually verbally made was, I said he was mine, and then she was like, "Oh, you snooze, you lose," and made a point to humiliate him further at the actual charity thing later on. So yeah, Homelander. I mean, he's had stuff about him. He's had like like separatist and like like hierarchy stuff about him. He considers him superior to the entire human race. He doesn't. He's the Aryan archetype for sure. He's blonde hair, blue eyes, like even Stormfront mentioned that in the first episode. So he's the Aryan archetype, but he's never actually he's indulged in superhero supremacy, like being above them all because of the powers he has and because of the stature he has. Like he's never actually considered himself above them simply because he's white or whatever like that. So I don't know if he finds that out about Stormfront, then he's going to feel differently about her and he's going to try and get her kicked off the team, or what's going to happen. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. But yeah, that stuff happened with Stormfront. We had Ryan lashing out at Homelander. Like Homelander literally pushed his own son off a roof to try and see if he could make him fly, and that didn't work. And then he, grabbed onto Becca's arm and made some stern words and expressions towards her. Then Ryan's strength and his red eyes started beaming out. He didn't actually fire any lasers, but he started getting really pissed off at him and warned him to stay away and stuff like that. So that was a nice little tease of what's to come. And then we had the Deep returning to help the Seven, not officially being a part of the Seven again, but returning to help the Seven. He returned with a sea of sharks, or just I think it could have been sharks. It could have been sharks or dolphins, just more dolphins. He returned with a sea of fish, and then with a giant whale that Billy then used the boat to actually literally just impale and just ram through. So R.I.P. to Lucy the whale. Her name was Lucy. So R.I.P. to Lucy the whale. So yeah, that was that. So that is pretty much all that happened in the last episode. So hopefully going forward we have more drama and more emotions and more action, just as The Boys is always jam-packed with. So yeah, episode 4, nothing like it in the world. Let's go. This will be the highlight reel, as per usual. If you guys want the full-length reaction to this episode, then that will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. But yeah, that is it. So let's jump right in. Frenchie, what the hell?
I'm sorry, I was just...
Stillwell?
I was beginning to worry.
No, she's dead. He laser-eyed her brains out. Oh, wait, no. This is...
so much.
Doppelganger, the shapeshifter. This is the shapeshifter, Doppelganger. Do they have to desecrate Terry products in this show like this? Do they have to do that? So he's using Doppelganger to live out his fantasies of Stillwell? Really?
I found Becca.
Oh, damn.
Or at least our best guess where she is.
Oh, okay.
Vought facility, armed to the teeth.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, she's out in the middle of like a
We had a deal.
walled up forest
Jesus,
area.
Butcher, I'm just giving it to you.
I told you to kill Hugh Campbell and you hesitated.
Oh.
I said that we should go to the police.
You disobeyed my orders because you're with him.
Oh no. Oh no.
Fuck you! Am I lying?
Don't kill her, please don't not kill her, please don't kill her, please don't kill her.
You're not lying.
Okay, she's still alive, okay. Oh, Black Noir. How you doing, pal?
Oh, Black Noir.
Butcher. Oh.
Do you mean William Butcher? Okay.
He doesn't even nod. No shake of the head, no nod, just straight stares. Just straight
He's
stares.
definitely on the yacht with the terrorist.
I'll keep you posted when we find them. Or I can look right now.
Just run a
Yeah.
facial
Yeah.
recognition search.
Oh, he's sitting down with her. He's sitting down with
You
her.
can join me.
Yeah. Oh god, I love him, and I love him. He's amazing.
Hey.
Yeah, Black Noir is actually amazing.
Thanks for coming.
You think I don't know what's been going on? It's your heart.
Yeah, he can hear that stuff. He can hear
I
it.
doubt you're even cracking the top 20 anymore, and that makes a 7. Me, look
pretty ridiculous. Attaboy.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Go on and leave the 7. Yeah. That baby you bought. Oh my god. Oh. Brother.
You've got to be kidding me.
It's on every channel?
Yep.
We didn't start the fire. Didn't light it, but we tried to fight it.
Control Ho Chi Minh, Richard Nixon back again, moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate, punk rock, Bacon, Reagan, Palestine, terror on the
Shit, is this song?
Ayatollahs, hypodermics on the shore, China's under martial law, rock and roll, I can't take it anymore.
Hey, this ain't a little Vegas road trip, okay? Y'all ain't on no date either.
Oh, that was the best.
Chill.
That was the
Not your
best.
goddamn chaperone.
Just leave her alone.
Give her time to grieve. Give her time to mourn. Exactly. She doesn't need you to kiss her or need to be there.
grieving all alone ever do?
If she needs you, she will tell you.
He'd take me to Dunkin' on the sly, and he would get me a chocolate cream-filled donut. And he'd ask me to tell him about my day.
Is Dunkin' American Krispy Kreme or does America? I think America has Krispy Kreme. I think America has Krispy
Listen,
Kreme. But they also have a Dunkin' Donuts. The UK doesn't have that. The UK
Baskin
just has
Robbins.
Krispy Kreme. We don't have that either.
Every Sunday
We don't have
after
Baskin
church,
Robbins.
There'd be a line all the way out the door. People would be mad as hell. Yelling, cussing. Yo, my man, get your fucking ice cream and bounce. You think that stopped him? Hell nah. He would stand right there and order another sample.
You're not cleaning anything. You're just smearing shit all over your skin. Here,
Wet wipes.
got to use wet wipes. There you go.
you just carry these around with you?
Damn right.
Oh.
I said if he hurt you, I would kill myself in front of Ryan.
Well,
And my
shit.
last words would be, your father did this to me.
Oh, damn. Yeah, Ryan would lash out. Ryan would not hesitate to
He
kill his
seems
son.
desperate for a relationship with his son, so it worked once.
Yep.
I saw his eyes glow. I thought he might. Don't he got no powers?
No, I mean, yes, but I'm not raising him like that.
Ryan is innocent. Trust me. Ryan is innocent. Trust Becca. She raised him for 8 years.
That's the plan.
We're already making plans to escape. I doubt it's going to come to fruition, though. We're this early in the season. I do not trust any signs of good hope.
Bunking with MM? Naturally.
Good choice.
If you want to avoid sleeping, then yeah, it's a good choice. Very smart choice. No, they're gonna bang again. They're back in her They're back in her room now. Yeah, MM would kill him if he woke up and found them banging right next to him. Yeah.
So he asked me to get one of these with him.
A tattoo? Oh, that is a big tattoo.
2 weeks later, he broke up with me.
Oh Jesus, what a dick.
I fucking hate Ed Sheeran.
That is a dick move. Like, did he know he was gonna break up with her before he? I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was there, but. Jesus.
But check your facts. Let's take the 7, for example. We've got A-Train. He's a black man. We got Black Noir. He
Do you know what he is?
well, he doesn't identify with any race, really, so they're covered. And we have a gay hero. Maeve here is a strong, proud lesbian with a beautiful girlfriend, Elena.
You
Hispanic girlfriend.
cape-wearing
And I, for one,
scumbag.
am so proud of her.
You utter
Where's Elena?
bastard.
What did you do to her?
She's fine. What did I do to
You
her?
actual piece
set her
of
free.
shit.
And you.
I was 11 years old. Sleep in the back seat of my folks' Ford. My brother Myron, he was driving.
Oh god.
Your car was involved in a robbery tonight.
No, it wasn't. I had it. I don't know nothing about any robbery.
Just
Also, she's not Liberty. She.
Why are you doing this to me, lady? Ain't you supposed to be a hero?
I am a hero for killing a black piece of shit like you.
Oh god, more racist superheroes? Really? More racist soups? Seriously? Oh. Oh.
I wanted to go to the police. But my folks, they thought it was pointless.
That is fucking horrific.
That's liberty.
Stormfront is liberty? That
Valerie
makes
was
so
a
much
small girl,
sense.
And she said it was raining, so she could be wrong.
That makes so much sense. Jeez, the memes. The memes. Oh, jeez, the memes. Oh, damn. Oh. Okay, yeah, how are you gonna... Okay, how are you gonna combat laser eyes? Yeah, lightning strikes versus laser eyes?
He's $1 billion piece of foreign property.
He's a
I'm
child.
not gonna let him go.
And then Vought raises him without a mother, right?
Homelander
And we're
2.0.
and then there's 2 fucking assholes in this world.
We could disappear, all right? Just start again. Start a new family.
I have a son!
He's a fucking suit freak.
Billy.
Fuck, listen up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
You've not been here 2 days and you're already causing a ruckus.
I'm a feminist. But I'm also very sexual.
Oh, this is deep. He's recording all this
And I don't
stuff.
see that as contradictory.
The one with the hair and the creepy skeletons hugging each other's story?
Yes, that's your wife.
They're choosing a wife for him.
It's about rehabilitating your image and getting you back in the 7. That is what you want, isn't it?
So pass him off as a married man and the 7 will take him back, really? Stop dipping your fingers in the milk and putting it in his fucking mouth.
Oh, I want you so bad.
I don't need you.
He killed himself. He killed himself. Oh, jeez. Oh, Christ. Okie dokie. That happened. Wow, okay, so plenty of stuff happened in this particular episode. So Homelander was using Doppelganger. Doppelganger shapeshifting into Madeline Stillwell, and then he was using that to live out his psychosexual fantasies. This show has just, desecrated milk. Just milk. Luckily, they haven't gone anywhere near things like eggs or butter or yogurt or anything like that. Just milk. Just that one dairy product they've desecrated in this in this show. So that's fun. But yeah, he was using Doppelganger to presumably to have sex with, but also just to have Madeline talking to him. Just have the voice of Madeline talking to him, because I think it's Doppelganger and Madeline Stillwell are very, very different. Doppelganger can only go so far as to emulate her voice and her appearance, but maybe her mannerisms too. But other than that, the history is still purely between the original Madeline Stillwell and Homelander, so he can only go so far. But yeah, damn. So he was, and Doppelganger had shape struggles. He had shape struggles where he could actually only hold a specific form for so long before it started to hurt, and he actually had to transform back again. So seeing that was interesting. Like as soon as he found out that, I thought something else was happening, that he was going to explode or something, but no, he was actually just turning back into his original form. And then, yeah, then Homelander couldn't even bear to look at him. He couldn't even bear to look at him until he actually turned back into Madeline Stillwell. He couldn't even bear to look at the actual shape and form. So, yeah, that was that. And then right at the end, he didn't want to bang Madeline Stillwell anymore. And then after that, Doppelganger thought, oh, maybe he wants to, be banged by himself, by literally his own doppelganger. So then he tried that, and he got close to trying that. And then Homelander took Stormfront's words to heart about, needing to be loved and stuff and things like that. And then he decided to off Doppelganger just like that. He decided to off him just like that. So, yeah. So he's declared it. He doesn't need anyone. He's declared he doesn't need anyone. He doesn't need all of America or any of the demographics to love him anymore. He doesn't need anyone. He does. I mean, I don't know if he's actually going to go down the route that Stormfront is and just start pissing people off enough to the point where they actually start taking action, or what's going to happen. But yeah, he's declared that he doesn't actually need anyone as of yet, at this point, so he's going to go down the lone wolf kind of route. So yeah, that was that. Shockwave is replacing A-Train. And yeah, I figured. I mean, A-Train is having those issues. He can run. I'm surprised he even went on that mission with the Seven, like in the last episode to begin with. Like he actually started, securing the sewage tunnel places thing. I'm surprised he went with them because he knew he had heart issues, and he knew that one of Homelander's abilities is super hearing. He can hear your blood pressure and your heartbeat and stuff. He could hear, like, even from standing like 10, 20 feet away, he could still hear, that his heart was going crazy. So it was only a matter of time before he realized it was going to get more severe, and then he'd become a liability, because he's awake now, but the condition is still there. The condition is definitely still there, but, thanks to Annie calling in the 911 and getting him to the hospital, and them just, keeping a close eye on him, then, that saved his life. So, so it makes sense that he is actually, for health reasons, he's being kicked off the Seven, and it's what Homelander has actually confirmed now. It's what Homelander's confirmed, that he's actually going to start cutting out the weak links of the Seven and rebuild it from the ground up. So A-Train was a physical weak link, with his heart condition going on. The Deep just wasn't in the Seven anymore, so replacing him was easy. Starlight has loyalty issues. She has loyalty issues, so he very nearly killed her in the elevator. He very nearly killed her. So that was terrifying. I thought he'd be going up to her because A-Train finally snitched out and revealed that she leaked the Compound V info. But no, he knows that she would take him down for that too, and also for the Popclaw thing. So he didn't reveal that. But no, it was actually about the fact that she didn't kill Hughie in the tunnels when he told him to. When he told her to, she hesitated and got her light beams ready, and then just in time, Butcher stepped out with Kenji. As we now know, Kenji Miyashiro is, God rest his soul, is Kimiko's brother's name. So her name is Kimiko Miyashiro. Okay, so yeah, so then he set them on, and then that happened. So that kind of diverted the attention away from the whole situation. But then so he addressed it that Maeve saved her life when she asked Homelander to spare hers. So then she gave her a second chance, and then she still disobeyed his orders to kill Hughie. But then she wasn't lying about the fact that part of her did still hate him for what he did to her all that time. So she wasn't lying, but she also didn't actually want to have to kill Hughie, and she didn't want to see him die. I think part of her still just doesn't want to see her die, but yeah, there is still a part of her that's strongly maintained that holds that kind of hatred and stuff like that. So yeah, so he didn't kill her. And then so the Deep, A-Train, Starlight, Black Noir, he's basically perfect. He has no loyalty issues. He has no trust issues. I love Black Noir. Can I just say I love Black Noir? Literally, he's the epitome of silent and terrifying. He's the epitome of silent and terrifying. He has no expressions. You could say something. You could ask him something. You could say something like, he doesn't nod his head. He doesn't shake it. He just literally looks at you with the utmost dead cold sincerity. He just looks at you and expects you to know what he's thinking and feeling. Like that kind of look on his face. It's like you can't see through. There is fabric covering every inch of his skin. His goggles are tinted to hell. And you literally can't tell who he is or what he's thinking underneath. And I like that they actually referenced that in this one. Black Noir. He could be black, he could be white. He doesn't identify with race. So I've actually looked up the cast list for Black Noir for the boys, and I think it is actually a black guy playing Black Noir. So it is actually a black guy under the costume. So that's cool. But yeah, but I think we just don't know what his thing is. The closest we got to seeing his flesh or his skin was literally at the beginning of the episode when Nakib actually, scorched like less than a quarter of his torso and like a bit of his throat off, and that barely did anything. So he's fire resistant heavily. He's got strength. He's got agility. He's basically just a super powered Batman. He's Batman, but with like enhancements, like the actual superpowers, except like like not like a Superman version of Batman, but Batman with like enhanced speed and strength and agility and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so he's amazing. I want to see more of him. I want to know what his backstory is, how he ended up being Black Noir. Like, how does one grow up to be Black Noir? Like, was he like raised in a family of ninjas, or like what is it? Like, was he just raised in like a family of like sighted people who never spoke and just just literally just showed him a pair of knives and he picked it up and just threw it into like into a target practice? Like what is his backstory? Like, where did he come from? Where did you come from, Black Noir? Tell me your story. Sit down and tell me your story if he can. If he chooses to talk, but I don't know. He's just a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a guy. Still definitely an antagonist because he's with the Seven, but he is still a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a guy. But yeah, Black Noir is not one of them. Stormfront, I can already sense, like in this episode alone, we had some tension, so I can already sense that there's going to be some kind of duel or some kind of rivalry coming up between Homelander and Stormfront. So she's the newest link. Whether or not she's the weakest link, we can't really identify. I mean, morally speaking, definitely the weakest link, because she's not a hero. She's not a real hero. Yeah, there's that, and then Queen Maeve. Queen Maeve. I like that one scene alone. That one scene alone just goes further to prove what a dick Homelander is. Like him outing Queen Maeve on live TV like that. That, first of all, that just sent my heart skyrocketing to the roof. Because as soon as he mentioned a gay superhero, I was like, wait, oh crap, he's gonna out Maeve right here, right now. I was literally on edge. I just prayed, don't go through with this. Don't do this to her. Do not put her through that kind of spotlight, because especially since we know exactly what kind of audience Vought caters to, like even like especially in the last season, it was one of the reasons that one of the senators didn't go through with opposing the superhero bill in the military, Stillwell used Doppelganger to frame him with pictures of him having gay sex, and then said that most of his voters lived in Oklahoma, and that and that they were massive homophobes. So knowing that Vought caters to such voices, he definitely would have known that it's not like he definitely would have known that it would not be good for her image to out her like that. And then Vought gets and Vought gets backlash from conservatives and homophobes, being like, oh, how dare you recruit a gay superhero under our noses and never tell us about that? I can't believe you let us do this, that, and the other. And oh, jeez, Queen Maeve. Just literally any time I see that kind of stuff in movies or like in media in general, be it movies, games, shows, whatever it is, any time I see scenes where LGBT characters are outed, I can't handle it. I can't take it. Just like the anxiety that kind of content gives me is just horrible. It's horrible. It's like secondhand embarrassment, almost like secondhand cringe, but just a lot more devastating. Like actually emotionally harrowing. Just seeing the characters themselves go through with that, and then Maeve, feeling worried for Elena too. Because especially I think he mentioned Elena. I don't know. He mentioned she had a girlfriend, and he apparently he decided her label for her. He said that she's an openly proud, beautiful lesbian superhero. Because I mean we don't know if she's lesbian or bi, but he decided her label for her, as well as actually deciding that she needed to be out in the spotlight in that way. So I don't know if he actually mentioned her name, but he did mention that she has a Hispanic girlfriend, and stuff. So. Yeah, and I mean, he knows her name. He knows her because he heard her say it, but I don't know if he actually mentioned it on TV, because then if that happened, then Elena would be, I mean, I don't know how many Elenas live in New York, but still, like, Elena herself would be also feel like a really, really under pressure. especially if anyone she knew, anyone in her life knew that she dated Queen Maeve or something like that. I mean, I don't know if that's something she would share with family, like, oh, I'm dating a superhero, but I don't know. Either way, I just, oh God, I really hope things don't go downhill for the two of them. I don't know how Vaught's gonna treat that. If like Edgar's gonna have to force Ashley to do some kind of press conference with Maeve where she denies it or signs some kind of bullshit NDA or what's gonna happen. But I don't know. I really hope she doesn't. I really hope she doesn't have to hide it. But again, like that kind of stuff, it's up to the person. Needless to say, it's up to the person themselves to actually come out when they're good and ready, and especially in this kind of environment, you know, like celebrity coming outs are not common for this exact reason. So yeah, I mean, Maeve is secure, but at the same time, the company she works with, again, they cater to very specific voices, and they're already facing backlash for Compound V. Vought is already facing tremendous amounts of backlash for Compound V. So if they face even more, demonizing for having a gay superhero on the team, then you know, I don't know if they would actually be hesitant to cut her off if that would gain them or like allow them to keep, you know, their current standing supporters. I don't know if like how they would treat that. But yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, that would be a lawsuit in its own hand because that would be discrimination. That would be discrimination. So that would be a lawsuit in its own thing. But then Vought has the money. I mean, now again, I think now in this situation we don't know for sure how well Vought can actually handle themselves. So I think. Yeah, so in that sense, then they might not, and especially I think it would be it would definitely be the same as when Starlight actually pointed out to Stillwell that, you know, it wouldn't be a good sign for their image if they fired a superhero, if they fired an employee who had just come out with a Me Too story. Yeah, so I think it could go the same route for this. If they actually fire a superhero on their team after she's outed on live TV as a lesbian, then it would not be good for their image. It would not be good for them. Like then then Maeve's LGBT fans would come forward and support, and other people, allies would come forward and support. So yeah, it's a tricky puddle. But you know, long story short, Homelander's a fucking dick, and he deserves the worst for that alone. But yeah, I just hope Maeve's okay. I hope Maeve and Elena are okay. I think next episode we'll likely see Maeve and Elena actually getting together to actually try and talk this out and to see how to move forward. You know, I think Maeve being Maeve, I think she's gonna, you know, have a bigger spotlight to deal with. I think Elena might just want to break things off and take time to, because I mean, we don't know what her situation is. We're like she lives alone. So she's like, you know, she doesn't have to live with any, you know, if her family is homophobic, then she doesn't have to live with them. She doesn't have to live under their rules or their bigotry. So we don't know what. So in that sense, we know that she's safe at least. She has a roof over her head and she's secure. But yeah, I don't know. It's still a tense situation. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they actually handle it. But yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, I am happy. I mean, they're exploring the, you know, the darkness of this topic, but at the same time, I am happy they've at least in some way. They obviously, this isn't the best way to do it. This is not the right way to do it at all. But at the same time, I'm still kind of, you know, I think the silver lining is that they have an LGBT hero on the team. That's somewhat the silver lining. But again, it's very much overshadowed by the fact that, you know, she's been outed by her colleague, no less, by her colleague. So yeah, and she said she broke up with her before she joined the Seven, when she met him. So then that makes me think even more that she broke up knowing that and I think either it was that she broke up with him, but she broke up with Elena knowing that she actually couldn't be with her and be under the Seven spotlight at the same time, and she maybe dated Homelander for the sake of public image, or Stillwell found out about her and Elena and then forced them to break up, and then, you know, said, oh, you can only join the Seven if you break up with Elena and you date Homelander instead. We need those poll numbers up. We need those demographics and voter numbers in. So yeah, I think it could have gone either one of those ways. I think it's something that Madeline would definitely pull, especially after how she treated Starlight's situation. It sounds like something she would definitely pull. and even again doing the same thing with the senator. So yeah, it's a sucky situation. So I don't know, but I guess we'll see moving forward. But I do hope Maeve's okay. I do hope Maeve and Lena are gonna be okay. Billy found Becca. I think it felt very early in the season. Honestly, but it happened. It worked. He actually found Becca, and they had a very, very passionate and very, very closely held reunion of hugging and kissing and even banging in the car, even banging in the back there. She brought a car specifically for them to have sex in. She brought a car specifically for them to have sex in on the bridge. So. Yeah, okay, that was interesting. And they did, and then they had a nice post-coital. See, I think the post-coital scene was sweeter than. I mean, they're a couple. They're gonna get romantic. They have every right to get physical and everything, and so it's and they literally have not seen each other besides from the end of season 1. They haven't seen each other properly in 8 years. So there's a lot of feelings for each other that they've both held in. There's a lot of feelings for each other they've both held in. So it was they were well within their right to get smoochy with each other, which they did. And again, like the chat they had afterwards in the back of the car, like reminiscing about their past and talking about their future and just how they felt about each other. It was all that was all really sweet. And it was good. It was just good to see like Becca and Billy together again. Like after all these years, like they're finally together, and her like admitting that I think it was in the scene afterwards, like her admitting that she didn't tell Billy about what happened because she knew that Billy has a temper. Billy is very, very hot-headed. He is very, very hot-headed. So anything goes wrong, and anyone hurts those he cares about, then he will get up in the faces of those who do the hurting. So she knew that Billy would go straight for Homelander and try to enact revenge, which wouldn't go well. He'd get smushed to pieces, literally. And I think that didn't really work because he still found out he still found out what happened. Grace still showed him what happened to some extent, and he still found out the truth, and he still started a revenge mission to find Becca and to hunt down Homelander. So that all still went down. It all still went down. It just didn't come from her. It just didn't come from her. So yeah. And he still wasn't good about the kid. He still was. I was hoping he'd at least be understandable about the kid. Like he seemed softer yet still stern with kids, like the baby in the first season in the hospital, being like, you better be a good little super baby, or I'll come back and stump you. Like anyone with superpowers we get, he's thinking, but. That I think you would think that attitude is mainly reserved for adults, like grown, mature adults who should know better than to hurt people with their powers. You would think that attitude is reserved for them, but no, he apparently still, holds some kind of, like prejudiced grudge against babies and kids. Like, the kid of, it's the kid of Homelander, so the kid has powers, and that means he has Homelander's genes inside of him. But, like, Becca has raised him to be nothing but kind. Becca has spent 8 years teaching him to live, like, somewhat of a normal life, isolated from society, sure. But, she's been teaching him Spanish and piano and English. He grew up on the mother tongue of English. She's been teaching him just to be a normal kid, albeit with no friends. And she's worked so hard to keep him away from Homelander's thing. He still recognized Homelander at the end of season 1 when he actually... showed up. So that's kind of surprising that she would have actually worked to keep the kid away from that image. But then as soon as Homelander lands on his front porch, he still recognizes him. But but still, for the most part, she still raised him to be a good kid, to be a kind kid and passionate and everything. So to see Billy still, and she knew it. She knew even after 8 years, she can still tell. She still knows Billy's tales. She knows Billy's tales just like he knows hers. So she knew that he wasn't being serious about taking the kid. Because for one thing, he was Vought property. That was true. Vought kept them there in a secure remote location that Homelander still managed to find. But Vought kept them there. And stuff. And it was still an experiment. I think under those conditions, it was still definitely an experiment. It was just an experiment to see if another Homelander could be raised in more natural conditions. Like he wouldn't hang around with any other kids or any other people his own age, but he'd still be raised in like a normal home with a normal curriculum and doing somewhat normal kid things and stuff. So it was still something along those lines. But yeah, and then for another thing, of course, him just calling the kid a soup freak. That doesn't help anyone. That helps literally no one. That helps literally no one. So that was definitely the wrong attitude to have about the kid. And yeah, and then that showed Becca how he really felt, that he actually didn't want to bring the kid along at all. So yeah, and I think again, like, you know, like the way he described Ryan to the boys, like, oh, she has a kid. He's the spitting image of Homelander. That means he knows that, you know, it is, you know, biologically it is Homelander's child. So, you know, Ryan is the product of her rape. You know, even she admitted it. You know, Homelander raped her, and then she went to Vought when she found out that she was pregnant. So, you know, I think that alone is like a very, very sensitive kind of thing to do. Like, you know, like actually giving birth to and raising the product of the guy that raped you. But I think with Ryan, I think she's, you know, she I think, you know, it's illogical to blame the kid. It's illogical to blame the kid. Like, the kid did not ask to be created that way or in that situation. You know, it's you know, like anything and everything to do with the rape is on Homelander completely. He's the one who deserves to pay for that crime, and he should. But Ryan has proven that he's nothing like his father. He was raised good under Becca's eye. He was raised good and kind and smart and everything. So, you know, even like, you know, like like the last episode is perfect evidence that he cares much more about his mother than he ever will about his father. He is more than happy to, once he gets a control of his powers, he's more than happy to actually take out his father if need be and make the world a better place that way and stuff like that. So yeah, I wonder if they'll set the kid on Stormfront. I wonder if they'll actually set the kid on Stormfront and just, you know, or maybe, you know, like, both of them, Homelander and Ryan, take out Stormfront together, and then Ryan just takes out Homelander. Just, you know, like, no one but Ryan is allowed to live. No soup but Ryan is allowed to live. I don't know, but I mean, he's not gonna go with the supremacy thing. Ryan is not a supremacist in the slightest, but it would be cool to see them taking out Homelander, but to take out Homelander and Stormfront. But yeah. That was that. So that was the Becca stuff, and then Becca stayed. Becca decided to stay because she didn't really have faith that they could actually go anywhere where Vought wouldn't find them, and also the fact that Billy didn't really want to keep the kids safe or take him with them. So yeah, so she stayed. She stayed, and he's still there. He's still inside that little, you know, remote, walled up, kind of barricaded area of woodland and villagery and stuff. Villagery, is that a word? I don't know. It's got houses and stuff, like other houses that he goes to, so it counts, I guess. But it's a very, very isolated society. It's a very isolated neighborhood. But yeah, she stayed. And also the deal she mentioned was actually true. She actually did. She told Homelander that the deal she made. She told Homelander she would actually commit suicide in front of Ryan and blame it on Homelander. She would tell Ryan that, you know, it was his father's fault, that it was Homelander's fault. So that is it. That is the one spark the kid needs to literally unleash everything at Homelander. If he found out that his mother died, and that it was Homelander's fault, then that is the very last spark the kid would need to actually take Homelander out of the picture. So yeah, and she said she wasn't even bluffing. She wasn't bluffing. So she really cares about Ryan. She genuinely cares about Ryan. She is his mother. She's his mother. So she cares about him and protecting him and taking care of him like she has done for all these 8 years. So yeah, that is the deal. So I think it felt fairly obvious from the beginning when he described, like, you know, our deal is out there walking scot free and, you know, like, alive and well. So it figures that, you know, because I think in any other circumstance, I don't think Billy would have hesitated to actually literally tear. Homelander would have hesitated to tear Billy to shreds, but, you know, because Becca's still out there, and he knows how strong the relationship between Becca and Ryan is. So if anything happens to Becca, Ryan will question it. Ryan will definitely question it, and especially after the last episode when he saw Homelander getting more physical and rough with Becca, and he fought back. He knows that, you know, Homelander should not be fully trusted. I think he knows that much, at least. He knows that much. So yeah, I guess we'll see how we move forward. We had a fun little road trip. With a half fun. It was half fun. A half fun road trip with Annie and Hughie. actually gave in and took Annie along for the ride. And yeah, it had a nice opening. It had a lovely opening. They were sharing their memories of his dad and her dad. giving them treats and stuff, and just like laughing over sugar and fathers at the beginning, and then even in the car, like finding out that like almost every radio station is playing her song except for that one that's just playing "We Didn't Start the Fire," and then Hughie starts singing along, and then Annie jumps in, and then just before they hit the chorus, it starts off with the chorus, so that was good at least, but then. Just as it hits the chorus, just after they're both really getting into it, and then MM's like, no music in the car. This is not a fun road trip. This is not a happy road trip. We need to keep it low profile and no music in the car. But yeah, that was cool. And she's a Billy Joel fan. She knows that song at least. I don't know if she knows all of them. That's the one Billy Joel song I know. Even I don't even know the other lyrics. I don't know the actual historical lyrics, the ones that reference history. I just know we didn't start the fire. Like the chorus is all I know. And it's a shame. I know the historical things mentioned in the lyrics. I recognize that they're historical things, but I just don't know those actual lyrics. So yeah, but she does. They do. So that was a really cool scene. And apparently from her visual experience, might be OCD. He might be OCD. Apparently he has a thing where he taps 3 times. So he taps 3 times when he changes lanes, and when he stirs 3 times. He does stuff 3 times, and I don't know if that is particularly OCD. The way she described it kind of seemed somewhat similar. It's about control over the things that you can't control. Some stuff he can't control. Whatever he can control, he controls. So yeah, I don't know if that is specifically. Because I have these things. I have some tendencies, but I don't know if they would specifically be described as OCD, or if I'm just a really picky bitch. I don't know if they would actually be described as an actual OCD, because I think OCD can be very, very severe. There are and have been very severe cases of OCD that have led to anxiety and depression, and even worse cases. So I know there's that. So I think is when it comes to those kinds of conditions, you want to be sure you actually match the symptoms and stuff, and you're not just kind of talking about it lightly or as if it's some simple thing. So yeah, I think I've never really looked into if I have OCD or anything. I have anxiety, that one's a definite, but OCD, I don't know. I think if I do have it, it's very, very mild. I'd say if I do have it, it's very mild. I think MM's one. I think I never really noticed his stirring thing. I never really noticed the tapping thing on things. I don't notice that. So yes, apparently to her that's OCD. But yeah, I think to my knowledge, what I hear more about it is the fact that it can be dangerous. So it's important not to overdiagnose it or misdiagnose it. In case you actually mistake the really, really minor things for OCD, whereas the more dangerous cases go unsolved because people hide it, or they kind of, have other cases along with it too. So it's important not to misdiagnose it. So not that it's not important to look into it. Definitely look into it, see if you actually have it, so you can get it treated properly. But yeah, I don't know. Really, really minor stuff has, I think, maybe a lesser chance of being OCD if you can still control it. Some people find that they really, really can't control it, and it becomes worse and worse, and it really affects their lives. So yeah, I think it's a tricky topic, but I don't know. I think it's harder to believe unless it actually comes from MM himself. It might not be something he wants to talk about specifically. It might just be, if it's something that Starlight noticed, then. If it's something that Annie noticed, then it might be what her experience of, what her knowledge of OCD might be. But then I think unless it comes from MM directly, then it's either a mild case or it might not be that at all. But I think given the situation, anyone in this situation would develop, mental health issues and stuff regarding survival and, again, stuff that you can control compared to stuff that you can't control, and, how to deal with those situations. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see down the line if that is really true. And then came the much, much worse aspect of the episode, the much, much worse history. So Valerie Hunter, she was the woman who survived an attack at the hands of Liberty. So, yeah, Mallory had the information on Liberty. The address was the woman who lived there. So I thought the woman who answered the door must be Liberty. I thought she must have been a retired hero who'd like, because in this case it's not. I think it's not really. It's not unlikely that you might run into a hero who saw too much or who couldn't really handle with what like the reality of being a superhero, and then they retired and stuff. So I thought that was the case. I thought, you know, she, especially being in the 70s, I figured, you know, if she was a black superhero back then the social climate and culture would have been very, very different, and she would have been driven off the scene by racist people. So I figured that might be the way they go. But no, it's much worse than that. She actually was a survivor. She was a survivor of Liberty's attack, and Liberty is Stormfront. Liberty is Stormfront. She had an entirely different costume and look back then. Same ideology back then, same agenda. Just taking out innocent black people, and stuff, and just Jesus, like I can't. That image, as soon as Valerie got out the car and saw her brother's face, oh jeez, that image, just one punch. I think it was like a couple of punches, but then one hard punch to the face that knocked him against the windshield. Jeez, and again the same racist lines. So she's lived this long. She has whatever she's done. I think I don't. I mean, Compound V, it gives you it gives you superpowers. We know that much, but whether or not it actually decelerates your aging, we've yet to know. Because I don't know if that might be the case, but she might have done something, or maybe she actually found Compound V and she altered it in some way. Maybe she could have actually found Compound V. Maybe she worked with a circle of people back then in the 70s, and they were also white supremacists, so they found a way to keep her alive long enough to get her into the future. Like maybe it's like that kind of timeless agenda that they were enforcing. I don't know, but through whatever means, she's managed to survive this long, and I don't know, and she's still keeping up the same stuff. She's still keeping up the same hateful ideologies, and still killing the same innocent people. Yeah, she was the same back then. So honestly, it makes me wonder what the civil rights movement would have been like in this universe. Like, would that have even been a thing? Because like it was in World War II that it was back in World War II. It was back in the 40s and the kind of the 30s, but mostly the 40s. The Vought actually came up with Compound V, and he started giving out applications and stuff. And Soldier Boy was the first hero, like one of the first few heroes in World War II. But then he started giving out to other people. So it makes me wonder what like civil rights movements and civil rights periods of time, like how different those would have been if you had soups like Liberty and God knows who else who maybe had similar hatred feelings as her. So yeah, I don't know, because I don't know if they're gonna do some kind of timeline change where like the Liberty or someone else just assassinated MLK or someone else, or like Malcolm X. I don't know if they're gonna pull that kind of stunt on us, if they're gonna do that, but yeah, I don't know. This it makes me think. It makes me think like how different is the timeline in this? I mean, that would have made the news. That would have actually made news, and if that did happen, then we might have gotten it referenced by now. But I don't know. Again, with the existence of Liberty, you have to question like how bad things really are and how bad things have gotten compared to back then. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Valerie was still a soup. I don't know. Well, I mean, no. She mentioned that like a black person being killed by a white superhero in that neighborhood wasn't really something that they actually bothered with. It wasn't a case that they concerned themselves too much with. I don't know if she actually mentioned being because she was a kid back then. She was a kid, so there's no issue she could have been a soup herself. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, Liberty, whatever Liberty has done, she's managed to live this long. She has actually managed to live this long, and she's kept Compound V in her system, and she's changed. She's transformed from Liberty into Stormfront. Liberty has like a darker vigilantism to like it's like she looks like a nice normal superhero, but then it's once she actually starts attacking you for being a person of color, that then you figure out who she actually really is. But then Stormfront has a whole different look to her. Like she's got like a mostly dark color schemed kind of thing. She's got like a side shave going on. She's Stormfront and everything. So she has like a different aura compared to Liberty. She has a whole different aura compared to Liberty. And even as we saw, I think I don't know. I mean, she has powers now. She has powers. Like we didn't see her using. I don't know if we actually saw her using lightning back then. I don't know if we actually saw her using lightning. She was mainly throwing like super powered punches. She had super powered punches, but I don't know if we actually saw her throwing any lightning. But she had like a whole different costume to her, and now she actually uses her lightning in the modern day. She actually executes storms and stuff. And she was organizing a protest. She was actually using the Compound V thing to organize a protest, which I'm surprised Vought is letting her do. I mean, she was still in the 7th Tower when Homelander visited her, and that was after the protest. So, yeah, so she's organizing people to actually rally up and take down Vought for their uses of Compound V, and actually rifling up more hate against super terrorists and stuff, and especially using Kenji's name against it too. And Kimiko and Frenchie, I don't know what happened. I don't know what Frenchie was thinking there. Like, he somehow thought that kissing her, or at least trying to kiss her, would cure her grieving or help her grieving in some way. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the thought process was there, but he thought that. And then when that didn't work, he went and banged his pumpkin in her place. And then she pointed out the fact that he thought if he helped another superhero, then he could actually amend. He could clear the red out of his ledger of having caused the deaths of Mallory's grandkids at the hands of Lamplighter. So, yeah, that didn't work. But yeah, he tried kissing her, and I think it just did this show. I mean, it handles stuff like that. Did this show approaches subjects like that, like sexual harassment and assault, and things like that, and rape and everything. So, Frenchie kissing him definitely just caught me off guard. That just caught me off guard, and I did not for one second believe that she'd actually accept it. I figured, it would be that kind of scene. So yeah, and then he immediately felt guilty. So that was just a really weird scene to watch. But Kimiko tried actually planned on attacking Stormfront at the protest. She actually planned on attacking Stormfront at the protest, and as she got closer, she was actually having flashbacks of, as she was talking, she was having flashbacks of watching Kenji being killed by her, knowing that all these words were fueled by his death, and also attacking more terrorists like him. So yeah, I don't know. She's got an axe to grind. And I think on the one hand, she needs to also be careful about how she approaches this vendetta, and on the second hand, she needs to, the longer she goes holding it in, the more risk she puts herself at by lashing out randomly and taking out other people and taking out innocent people. So I don't know. I think the team needs to watch her. The team needs to actually watch her, keep her away from the news, stop letting her watch stuff that fuels her anger, and let her actually think through it and mourn it properly. Stop. She's never gonna forget that he was murdered, but at the same time, she needs to actually mourn him as a dead member of her family and as the last family she had and stuff. So yeah, but taking out any of the supes is going to be a team effort. So her alone can't do everything. But yeah, Stormfront was organizing a protest. So for the most part, she was actually encouraging them to stand up and take up arms against super terrorists. But there was some Compound V and Vought signs at that protest as well. So I'm thinking Vought might rely more on the former than the latter to help them get to their support, but I don't know, we'll see. And then in the meantime, she was actually having guys churning out memes against Homelander. So I think my favorite might be I think the one with the Black Noir. There was one with Black Noir. There was a meme with Black Noir that I actually really liked. Yeah, that's the wrong episode. There was a meme with Black Noir I actually really liked. Yeah, did you hear about Stormfront? The tea is scalding, sis. Oh, jeez, that one might be actually my favorite. Just seeing, I think seeing that in the last season, seeing that those different ads they did with the 7 in the last season, and then Black Noir being the one making the tea and preparing the tea and drinking the tea, like that one might actually be my favorite. But there were other ones too. Laughing at Homelander, me receiving the glory of Stormfront's posts. Everyone that one meme has circulated Twitter so much. The one with the guy with the girlfriend looking back and checking out the other woman. So the guy is Homelander, the guy is everyone. The girl is checking out Stormfront, and then his girlfriend is Homelander. So that one was that. Yeah, memes upset Homelander. Memes upset Homelander. And then Vought International. Girls get it done. Yeah, I think I don't really think Stormfront is the feminist that they need. Because then again, like the gender equality thing, it could be real, could very well be real. But then again, it's all just it's also just a front. It's a front to, it's a front for all of her white supremacy and stuff to hide behind. So it's not exactly genuine. But Queen Maeve and Starlight, they've got it. They've got it. Yeah, me in the squad, and yeah, just all sorts of things, all sorts of memes, and then of course the final one that really hits the nail on the coffin, the real leader of the Seven. Just I think, I didn't even realize that it's actually her face photoshopped onto thing. I thought they actually replaced her whole body with his whole body with hers. I didn't realize they kept they kept his body in his suit, but they just put her face over his. So. Would have made more sense to go the whole way. Would have made more sense to actually put her entire body in front of his. But I don't know. Whatever you're able to do, whatever you're able to do. But I love that they use memes. They're actually utilizing the power of social media to just disrespect Homelander. But yeah, they did that, and then she gave him the idea to not actually need anyone's love anymore, but just to either use it to either be comfortable with himself or to rise up hate from people and rile up more support in fighting the super terrorists coming. So there are more super terrorists out there. There must be, because I think because Homelander was the one who planned it, so Naquib was just the first, and then Shining Light. No, Naquib was the one that Homelander created. But then Kenji, her Kimiko's brother, was the one that Shining Light created, but then they still got the Compound V. So I think that must have still been A-Train running it for Homelander. But yeah, there have to be more on the more on the way. There have to be more on the way. But yeah, that is Stormfront. And then of course, Deep finding a wife. Deep is on a mission under the orders of Susan, Carol. She's Carol in the show. Of Carol to find a wife. And all those random ladies talking. That was all members of the Church of the Collective. They're a cult. I've heard that they're actually a cult and stuff. So. Yeah, so apparently he needs to find a wife, or he needs to choose a wife. She does the choosing, and then frames it as his own choice, but then he needs to find a wife if he's going to improve his public image and get back in the Seven. I don't know how him posing as a married man is going to help him get back into the Seven, or if it's about who his wife actually is. If he actually chooses a good wife who can speak for herself and or read from a script that the church gives her, then that might be what it is, but I don't know, apparently him choosing a wife is going to be... I mean, he loved the last one. He loved the last one who was in the lingerie and very, very attractive and stuff. He loved her and wanted her immediately, but then, no, Carol tells him to choose... is it Carol? No, it's Susan in this one, right? It's Susan. I remember... She was Susan on Friends. Yeah, she was Susan on Friends. She's Carol in this, right? I think so. She's Carol, but I don't know. I think she might be Carol in this. I mean, yeah, she was Susan on Friends because Ross's wife was called Carol, and then she fell in love with Susan. So she's actually Carol on. She's actually Carol on this. Yeah, she's Carol on this. Yeah, okay, I have to remember it that way. She was married to Carol on Friends. She is Carol on this. So wait, yeah. Oh, I've confused myself. Wait, let me look back. I've got her name written down. I've got her name written down from episode 1. Who is she? No, we had a Susan on the show. We had a Susan on the show. She died. Susan Rayner. She died. Okay, so it turns out I didn't actually write down her name. All I wrote down in reference to that part of the story of this season is the fact that Deep is now in a cult and that he's now doing all this stuff. So yeah, but whoever she is, she chooses his wife for him. She chooses his wife for him and decides who he marries and all that lovely stuff. So yeah, so she has to choose a wife for him, and then he uses that to improve his public image and then get back into the Seven. So however the hell that works, I think, I don't know. I mean, having a member of the Seven in the Church of the Collective is likely a better image for them. So I think it's like, I think that's why Susan I think that's why she's actually so picky. I think that's why that's part of the reason she's so picky. She's choosing someone she trusts. Like, you know, she knows if she lets him choose whoever he wants, he's going to spend most of his time banging her, but then half-assing the actual marriage and the image and everything. So if she chooses someone who she trusts and she knows will actually do a good job, then that's what's going to be better for the church. So yeah, but that was that. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this episode. Pretty much all I have from this episode. It was a big one. It was a big one. I think a lot of horrific parts, and I think the way they're going now, it's getting more and more dramatic. It's getting more and more dramatic by the episode, and actually approaching more and more topics and whatnot. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this one. So that was The Boys Season 2, Episode 4, titled Nothing Like It in the World. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on The Boys. Once again, the uncut reaction, the full-length one, will be on Patreon, so you can go see that over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.